Welcome back to our power series, this is series number 1, which is language acquisition series. Okay, so we are going to solve the PYQs from this particular topic. When students learn the language for the bright employment opportunities, their motivation is eccentric, extrinsic, intrinsic, and exotic. So when they're learning for the bright employment, their motivation will always be intrinsic. Okay. Next. Which learning domain constitutes higher order thinking skills? Higher order thinking skills, not normal. Remembering is lower order thinking skills, understanding, application, evaluation. So in all these, which one will be higher order thinking skills? Application. Application will be higher order thinking skills. Next. Providing students dash can encourage second language acquisition. So what is first language acquisition? What is second language acquisition? Can anyone tell me? Comment down below. I will pin down the comments. Whoever can tell what is first language acquisition and second language acquisition. Comment down. Providing students can encourage second language acquisition. So, frequent feedback on spoken words, informal interviews, adequate speaking and writing skills, writing assignments, the opportunities to voice their opinions and solve problem in the targeted language. This is second language acquisition. First language acquisition is the acquired, like naturally acquired language is called first language acquisition. So option number D, because they are given opinions to solve the problems, like free opinions, like opportunities we are giving. Next. While learning vocabulary, learners connect one word with its related words, one word with its related words, and the words which can or occur before and after it is. So, which can occur before and after, that is technique is called. Is it called dictation? Dictation is person standing and just reading the words, and another person you have to just write it. Note making. Note making is some pages there we are just rephrasing it in our own words. Collocation. What is collocation? Comment down below. Conversation. Conversation happens between two individuals. This is called conversation. What is collocation? Can anyone tell me what is collocation? Collocation is the answer for this. Comment down your answer. I will pin your comment. Whoever can tell me the collocation word correctly. Children can best learn the language when they have best learn when have inhibition, proficient language teacher, motivation, good textbook. Inhibition. What does inhibition means? Proficient language teacher. Language teacher is there, motivation is there, and good textbook is there. So motivation, if they have motivation, then they can learn it better. If a student of language is cramming his or her answers, then he or she should not be able to. If a student of language, for example, a person is there, cramming means like by heart or muggifying or whatever you say. Before an exam, bunch of information they can learn it in some few hours. So that is called cramming. So like one day batting, one night before exam, like that. That is called cramming. If a person who is having the cramming can not be able to, cannot be able to attempt the vocabulary based exercise, cannot attempt the structural questions, no. Attempt the creativity, can they attempt the creativity? I don't think so. So attempt the questions answers, that is also wrong. So the attempt the creative questions means they should have the thinking. For example, this is application based questions. Application based questions means they should know the answer from the start to the end. If they have attended the lectures from the start to the end, then they would have studied every day, not day before is just day before. It's cramming is just the day before the exam is there just one day before or some hours before, they are just learning. So They cannot attempt creative writing. Next. Which of the following is not the objective defined by NCF 2005? So NCF 2005, what is not in order for the teacher at upper primary level to use dictionary suitable for their needs. Okay, using the dictionary is obviously defined. So we have to find out which is not an objective. So to be able to articulate individual personal responses effectively. This is also correct. To promote learners' conceptualization of printed text in terms of heading, paragraph, and horizontal lines. To negotiate their own learning goals and evaluate their own process, edit, revise, review their own work. This is also to promote learning conceptualization, printed text in the forms of headings. So the learner's conceptualization is correct. Negotiate their own learning goals and evaluate their. Evaluation is there, that is also correct. What is not correct is using to use dictionary suitable to their own needs. Own needs, it is not correct. This is assumed to be major difference between language acquisition and language learning. What is that major difference between language acquisition and language learning? Language acquisition meaning formation and language learning. So formation, language learning is making meaning. Okay, but it is reverse actually. Language acquisition is making meaning. Language acquisition is natural. Language learning is deliberate and instructional. Yes, it is correct. So language acquisition is taking up the language in a natural way. This is natural is correct. Because language acquisition is completely natural. Next, language acquisition happens at early stage. Will it happen only at the early stage? While language learning takes place later. Language learning also happens in the early stages wherein the child will have 1 to 2 years of age. The language happens, which is cooing or some mama, papa words they will say, like these things they will say. It also happens. So this is also wrong. This is also wrong. Major difference. Language acquisition always happen in mother tongue and language learning happen in the second language, not necessarily be true. So the our major difference between language acquisition is natural while language learning is deliberate and instructional. This is the major difference. Next, language is a human system which changes frequently. Okay, language is a rule governed system. Language is a structural formed system. Language is a formation of words, rules, and meanings. Language is a rule-governed system. Comprehension input, as proposed by Karashan, is what is comprehensible input proposed by him is enabling learners to comprehend ideas. This is what he said. So, Grashan said that in language, like comprehension inputs proposed by him is enabling learners to comprehend ideas. Ideas we have to comprehend. Next, comprehensible input. Comprehensible input, as proposed by is Carson, is enabling learners to comprehend ideas. This is the correct one. So drilling is a technique. What is drilling? Is a teaching learning technique or a strategy in which one it is. Drilling is a comprehensional activity. It is structuralism. In structuralism, if it is like it so structure is there. Constructivist language, no. In constructivist language, learning is constructed. Drilling is just like mug up. Communicative is also wrong. Lexial approach, it is also wrong. So the only correct answer, which is structuralism, wherein drilling is structuralism. Comprehensive input is enabling students to comprehend ideas. Next. Which of the following statements is true of language learning. In language learning, what is true? First language infers in the learning of the second language, infers the learning of the second language. First language supports the learning of the second language. So first language infers, first language supports. Language learning has nothing to do with content learning. No, language learning is important because we think in language, we think through language. Every language is different, and learning of languages is also discrete. Discrete is a negative word we should not use. So, infers the second language. No, it supports the second language. So, option number two is correct. Next, a teacher asks her learners to collect words, phrases on various aspects and see and notice their markets and streets, in their markets and streets. So words and phrases which are used in markets or streets. Later the learners write the words and phrases according to the category and discuss them in the class. What practice known as this? What is this practice known as? So topic words learning or genre based learning or active vocabulary, thematic vocabulary learning. So it is thematic vocabulary learning. So option number D is correct. Thematic vocabulary learning. So because it is based on the theme, right? Next, what does CLLC, CLIL stands for? Anybody? Anybody just comment down this answer. You will get pinned comment. So whoever knows this answer, just comment down. In the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the answer is content and language integrated learning. So content and language integrated learning is the answer for CLIL. Repeat after me. Content and language integrated learning. So this is an integrated format of the learning. So it is the integrated format of the learning. Very good. Thank you.